All right, welcome YouTubers. GreatDanePicks.com, week 15. My picks this week are down in the yellow here, or on the side of the screen. For my multiple scheme, it'll be Atlanta 1x, or $1,000 for every $20,000 bankroll. Buffalo will be 2x, Kansas City will be 1x, and Minnesota will be 2x. So that'll be a total of $6,000 out there before the bets come back. Fixed scheme are all those same teams: Atlanta, Buffalo, Kansas City, and Minnesota at $2,000 apiece for $8,000. And my martingales are Atlanta only $288, Buffalo $39.86, so good money on Buffalo. Carolina $20.46, Denver $27.28, Houston $20.46, Jacksonville $13.64. The LA Chargers, this is an interesting pick because the Chargers are playing Kansas City, so depending on which system you are following, you would have a different side on that game. That can happen, and it does here. So LA Chargers are a $17.58. Rams are $6.82. Minnesota's $33.04, so okay money there. And Pittsburgh $20.46 for a total of $20,248. But you should be ahead, as we'll discuss next. So good luck to you if you're following along here. Results last week were pretty good after a couple weeks of not so good, right? So pretty good. Good catch up here. We'll talk about RI in a little bit, but Cincinnati won. Detroit was my big pick of the week. They were a 3x picker, on the multiple scheme, and they were also a ton of cash. They won kind of quite handily, although it was only 3-0 at halftime. I think they were 2.5-point favorites. They scored a couple touchdowns and the second half, and really that wasn't in contest near the end, so that was a good pick. Indianapolis won. Kansas City let me down. They lost. Pittsburgh lost again. San Francisco was a 2x and won, and Washington lost. So that was a plus 33.63 in profit for the multiple scheme. And effectively, I was, what was I? 7 and 3 on the multiple scheme. If you count each $1,000 bet as a pick, that would be 7 and 3. That brings me to 27 and 17 on the season, or 60, back above 60%, so 61.3. My fixed scheme was only 4 and 3, so not quite as spectacular. That's now 18 and 14 on the season, and 56%. So the multiples make a difference. That's betting value. But my fixed scheme was plus 12.72, so it did show a profit. And my martingale showed a pretty good profit, 37.44 at the end of the week. So let's see what my big game again this week. Well, there isn't really one on the multiple scheme, but Buffalo's out there. So who's Buffalo playing? They're at home against Detroit, who just won me a ton of money last week. We'll see. Maybe Buffalo will rebound at home. ROI, we're out here after week 14. So we're going back up after a couple weeks of going down. And so we're all sitting in this area right here between the 25 to 50 ratio. If I look at that, my martingale is at 30%. My multiple is 37.72. And it looks like it's the high, but it actually equates to where I got out at. As a matter of fact, it's $1 less. I got out at $75.44 for $20,000, and it's $75.43, so it's $1 less. But we'll see. A winning week would push me a new high, so I'm at a high roughly. I got back to where I was when I got out. Myself personally got out at week 11, took my 37% and moved on, but I provide you the picks nonetheless, and they've somewhat recovered. So fixed is 23.62%. So all of them are between 23 and 37%. What do I got to do? Compare that against Apple. You would have bought 87 shares back on September 4th. Well, you'd be hurting. Apple took a dive this week. They're down at 169.60. You would have lost 25% of your money. So stock market, Apple usually does well this time of year, losing 25% of your money. Anywhere in sports betting, plus 23 to 37. Could have been as high as 50%. Could have got it a long time ago. We'll see where that goes. I did try to look up some YouTubers this week. I put Samuel Gold. He was an interesting channel in that he was a breaker downer of this is how you break down defenses. And Patriots Gronk beating this people and that and that. So you think he'd know a lot about that. So he took his foray into actually picking sides and ATS. And after a few weeks, he started to do more over-unders and other stuff because he was not a good ATS picker, although he's been making some ATS picks, just not consistently. You just see this is the evolution of a normal person, right? They think they're great, but turns out they're not on par. Anyways, he's 8-19 on the season, minus $23,000, 29% picker. Matter of fact, he jokes you should fade him, you should pick against him. I think a couple other people like Gino is doing the same thing, and I haven't updated all the stats. I just wanted to look this week, and I found some other guys, but they were really hard to read the video. They have a lot of videos, they have NBA and everything else. Kind of hard to follow, so maybe I'll put some time in. If I knew they were winners, that would really help me out. But anyways, I'm still looking for winners because nobody else. Teddy Bear is not really picking anymore, and Logan Schiff is not really picking anymore. Any consistency, and anyways, they are a step or two below me because I'm 183 a game, 57%. They're at best 53 and a half, $40 a game. So and nobody else is in the positive long term or even this year. So obviously this year is another difficult year versus last year where you saw a lot of negatives. But again, I got out at 12-7, so I'm leaving at 12-7. What I say I just was, I can go back and see what I was if you kept playing. The multiple scheme, I'd be 27-17, so not quite as good. I think I was at 69 versus 62. But anyways, that's where I'm at. Probably put a couple other videos out or something since I'm not doing quite so much. But I got to find some guys who are winners, or just follow me. Right? Don't follow the guys who sit in front of the television and give you these offensive versus defensive breakdowns and then go 8-19. Wonderful. All right. See you guys.